Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's King Danganga here. So if you're new here, this is a channel about intersecting work and technology. So basically job tech, so remote work, co-working spaces, workspaces, technology, everything. So today's a day in the life of a remote worker in Africa, and I'll be hanging out with this very, very special guest. You'll find out later. But before then, I'm at the Horizons office, Riverside Park on Buyaki Way, where I'll be using the co-working space to get some work done prior to meeting my guests later on. So let me go get some work done. Huh? So yeah, I got lost. I thought the coffee we were talking about is the one at 9 West. Turns out it's the one at Eden Square. So I have to head back, get the car, then go to Eden Square to meet Franklin, who will be our guest today. So, and it just started raining. So this is crazy, but we're gonna get there. We have to do this interview today. Hey, so it's finally time to meet our guest. His name is Franklin Mwenda, and he's a senior manager, marketing and outreach at GeoPoll. And I'm particularly interested in hearing what he has to say because we sort of do the same thing. And I am at Coffee, and I am about to meet him. Let's see how it goes. Hey, nice to finally meet you, Franklin. By the way, this is the day in the life of a remote worker in Africa.
Nice to meet you too. So yeah, my name is Frankline Kibuacha. I am the senior manager for marketing and outreach at GeoPoll. What that means is I had marketing at many levels, including and mostly digital at GeoPoll, not just in Kenya but across the world. So GeoPoll is works in over 120 countries across the globe. Nairobi is its biggest office because Kenyans are smart.
Yes, yeah, that's for sure.
And it also makes sense because a lot of the work that we do is collecting data from Africa, Asia, Latin America, and so Kenya and Africa are centrally located to handle that. So most of the teams are based here in Nairobi. Yeah.
Just tell us about your remote work journey.
I started marketing and digital way back when it was not as big.
When it was not cool, huh?
Yeah. And so my first job was, a corporate setting in brick and mortar manufacturing and retail company, butter shoe company. So yeah, we used to go to the office from around 7:30 in the morning
until 5.
Till 5.
That
yeah.
is slavery.
Till
That's what we call slavery.
No, it's fine. Till 4:50, and it's understandable because it's a note company that's quite conservative, and they have the structures, and it's all over the world, and that's how they work, and that's how a lot of companies work in any case. But then, so when I left Bata, I went to a startup, and it was a completely different, mind-blowing experience for me because I went to a startup where I was the only person in Kenya for that particular company.
Was it based in Kenya or it was based
it was a UK company.
Uh-huh.
I was based here in Nairobi, in Westlands. For the most part, I was the only member of staff who was in Kenya, and we were launching, our biggest product was actually being launched in Kenya. So that was my first experience working. I started working out from a co-working space, the Delta. But then over time, because I was all alone, it made sense for me to move to working from the house. So started working from the house. The company got me this nice, service furnished apartment.
Okay.
So yeah, after some time, it made sense for us to close, that arrangement of working from the co-working space because I was the only person. The other person was not Kenyan, so not always here. So it made sense to go to work from home. So the company got me an apartment, moved there, used to work from there. And it was a completely, mind-blowing new experience for me because, I would usually wake up, start working. I did not have a sense of, remember previously there used to be
A
set
routine,
times,
yeah, yeah.
set times to do stuff. But now, waking up, it's the work that was pushing me, and I did not have a sense of time. Not going out a lot. But there were advantages because I got to achieve a lot. Not moving around. I was working long hours. That was an advantage.
Yeah.
But then
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because I did not know how to handle this, or because the work was a lot. But it had its toll on my mental health. So yeah, at some point, you're not seeing a lot of people, not going out a lot. You're ordering in. It can take a toll on you.
I completely understand. You know, a lot of people, and I keep repeating this to especially people who are looking for remote jobs. It's fun. It's like any other job.
Yeah.
The problem is there's no one to monitor you. You have to do your job. So you have to be very disciplined and dedicated. And if you're not careful, you'll forget that you have a life beyond the work that you do. So exactly what Franklin is saying. So you will not leave your house, your social life. So you have to be very, very careful and consider your overall wellness as a remote worker. Yeah.
Exactly. And I learned that the hard way. There was this time launching something, and it's very long hours, and humans are social beings, and when you're restricted to a place, that's what I learned, at least at that point. And you're not also taking care of yourself as a social being. It could take a toll on you, and at the time I got very sick. Very sick.
Sorry to hear that.
And that's when I quit that job because it was I came to realize that I matter more than what I do. My person matters more than what I do. So
very important.
That's when I stopped working there, and I moved back to working at a regular.
So you did 9 to 5 after working remotely?
Yes.
You went back to 9 to 5?
Yes.
Okay. I hope you are not getting there at 7 a.m.
Well, it was worse.
So you jumped out of a frying pan into the fire?
It was worse because when we were starting out, going to the office, it wasn't too far, and so yeah, that was working. And then the company moved, so we all had to move. Like, if you know Nairobi, from Kilimani to Athi Rivers.
It's a journey.
It's
a road trip.
It's a journey. And
yes.
That's when I started wishing I could go back to working from the house. Also, I had a small baby at that point, so lots of sacrifices to make. I wasn't seeing her, so I quit that one too.
So, how did you get this role at GeoPoll?
Someone reached out to me on LinkedIn. So there wasn't really an application process. Someone came to my LinkedIn, so I had the skills that they were looking for, and they reached out.
So when you make, I think you have been very lucky. You are a lucky guy. Did you were you active on LinkedIn then, or had you?
Yeah, I've always been active on LinkedIn, and actually most of the jobs that I've gotten over time, apart from my first job, so the rest, so yeah, the rest have been people reaching out to me on LinkedIn.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I keep telling you, please be active on LinkedIn. People will find you. Sometimes you don't need to find people; they find you.
Yeah, but it's also not about No, I do not like post a lot on LinkedIn. It's just making sure that your profile is okay and it's up to date. You're bringing out your skills as well as you can, because most of the time people are looking for skills, they're looking for your experiences. So just make sure that those are up to date. If I could be an authority on advising on such matters.
I think it's very true, actually. It's very true. You have to now, okay, you have to be, I'm not saying that you need to be like overactive, but at least once in a while, let people know that you exist. Please.
Yeah, exactly. And LinkedIn is great, but also the good thing with the internet is it gives you a platform to really put yourself out there, like show your skills. If you're, for example, a digital marketer, bring it out, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook, or you have a website, bring it out that you're really good at what you do.
Yeah.
And once you become a thought leader in whatever it is that you're doing, then it's a way to put yourself out there. It's the same way we market brands. Yeah.
Exactly.
For example, how we market GeoPoll is we do not go around saying, buy from us, we are awesome.
Yeah.
We put out our work. People see our work and then chama cha user.
True. I completely agree.
Yeah.
So as someone who is looking for a remote job, they're actively applying for jobs. Can you tell them the mistakes they should avoid, especially during their application and once they get these jobs? What mistakes should they avoid?
So yeah, during the application, there's an aspect of if you are doing physical interviews, for example, there's that aspect of your presence in the room, and similar stuff like how you are dressed and the like. But now for remote jobs, especially if even the interviews are remote, the key is bringing out who you are and what you can do, and that is how you then sell yourself. So what is it is this company looking for, and how best can I bring it out? A physical interviewer could come, smile at you, I'm pretty, and you like me because of that.
Yeah.
For remote interviews, it's coming prepared to show one that you are able to do whatever it is, whatever skills that they are looking for. You have the expertise for it, because at the end of the day, that is how you're going to sell yourself. And then secondly, I guess it's also showing that you have the capability to work remotely. And capability means you're doing an interview and your internet is like dropping, or power suddenly is dropping. Well, some things cannot be avoided, but then try as much as possible to show that you have the capabilities to work. Because if you cannot showcase yourself well as reliable during an interview, then the thought process is when we hire you, you will be having internet problems. So
you will not be prepared enough for this. I completely agree.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's happened to me even when I was interviewing for this role.
Yeah.
Remember, I went to a restaurant, and that is where I was doing the interview from. Then there was noise and all that, and the internet was not very stable. But then, fortunately, this is a company that looks at capabilities rather than these other things that may not matter a lot at the end of the day. So I got that chance. A lot of people will not give you that extra chance to work around whatever it is that you're doing. And then once you get the job, the biggest thing with remote work is transparency and being accountable. So, for example, if you're employed on per hour basis, as an example, how do you log those? How do you ensure that you are transparent and accountable with the time? So one, it helps show that you are actually doing what you are supposed to be doing, and you're not stealing company time, so to speak. And I've seen quite a number of remote workers that I've interacted with that have lost their jobs because they could not say this is how much time I spent on the job.
Okay.
So yeah, transparency and accountability is very important. The other thing is reliability. Reliability in the sense that yeah, we are not working together, but the team that you're working with needs the ability to, as I said, normally I would walk across the office and ask you something. But now that we are not in an office, how reliable are you in terms of, when emails are sent, you are replying to them, or when whatever a message is sent to you, you can provide that information as soon as possible. So that's a mistake that a lot of people do. So you switch off your internet, for example, and you're not accessible, and that becomes a point of frustration.
Okay. So last week I met Marianne. She's a data engineer and she's been actively looking for a job. So, but how many hires do you have in Africa, GeoPoll?
Probably about 80 people in Africa.
Oh,
But
80 hires in Africa.
yeah, but the
Wow.
biggest, but I would say the biggest office is Nairobi. So
Yeah.
most of those are actually in Nairobi.
Mm-hmm.
Our other people are in South Africa, Nigeria, DRC, Ghana, and our partners, and our partners elsewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I said, most of the stuff it's quite decentralized in the sense that Nairobi supports any part of the world. So yeah, the biggest office actually in the world for GeoPoll is Nairobi.
Really?
Yeah,
in the world.
in the world, yes.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
Yeah,
It's
so,
very
so
impressive.
this is where the data engineers are, this is where the tech team is. But then we are a research company, but we also a tech company because we develop all our technology.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so yeah, most people are in Nairobi, and we are about 80 or so.
Wow. What's the hiring process like at GeoPoll?
So it starts with a team recognizing that they have a need to hire, obviously.
So, which means, wait, are you currently hiring, by the way?
You would have to check our website for that.
Wow, okay. So, okay,
I'm
so
not
what's the hiring
I'm not sure,
process?
but yeah, we do hire quite a bit. We do have vacancies on the website quite a bit. As I said, we hire on need, and the team has really grown over the last 3 years. Like since COVID is when the team has grown the most. Which is also coincidental is the time when most of the people have worked online. So what has happened is we've had to look for ways to like board so that we know everyone. But yeah, back to the point. I'm not sure if we are hiring at the moment for that. Check geopol.com careers, see what's there. But then yeah, it starts with the need to hire, and then that is normally posted on the website. It's also posted on LinkedIn. It's also posted on other job websites as need may be. And other times it's people who applied in the past or interviewed for positions in the past but were not successful or interviewed for other positions in the past. I skip through those CVs and we get the correct ones, the right ones, and we call them in for interviews. But yeah, most of the time it gets posted on the website, on LinkedIn. People apply. We have an HR department. They do the fast screening.
I think that was my next question. Is the hiring team based in Nairobi as well, or it's of course it's distributed. You're a distributed team, so the HR manager could be here and the recruiting manager could be in the US or elsewhere. So is the hiring team based in Nairobi or it's
Um, our HR office is one of the smallest in the company. So our director for people and culture, which is basically research, is based in the US. And then we have HR manager based here in Kenya, but they are the ones that do at least the first screening for CVs from like any position anywhere in the world. So they do the first screening, then of course checking for matches versus the job description. Then it goes to the hiring manager or the hiring team that do the technical bit of the interviews, and then sometimes we introduce um, tasks to do to confirm that you actually do what
capable
you
of
say
doing? Yes.
do what you say you do. And then there are a couple of steps in the hiring process before finally getting your offer. It's quite stringent and it's based on what your skill set actually is versus what we are actually looking for.
Can you share any resources or learning materials that have been particularly helpful for your professional development as a remote digital marketer?
So yeah, starting with digital marketing, as you know, it's a very dynamic career. It's a very dynamic line of work because things are changing every day. Uh, so yeah, you have to keep yourself attuned to what's happening, and that mostly depends on the channels that you mostly use if you're specialized. So, for example, for me, I read a lot of Google blogs because I want to understand how Google, for example, is taking Google Ads or our new algorithm for for Google SEO. So a lot of that. I also do Meta quite a bit. I am a Meta professional because I've done Blueprint. So it's also important to get these certifications from Google, from Facebook, from Asport, from LinkedIn, from all these um, platforms that we use. And then there's lots of resources. For example, I've done a couple of certificates on Coursera. So Coursera, Udemy. So go in, uh, get a free course. A lot of them are free. If you need to buy a course, but by all means, stay refreshing your knowledge on what's happening, because what was relevant in digital last year is relevant at the moment. So yeah, use all these. The first port of call for me would be the actual platforms. So learn what Meta is doing. Do Meta blueprints. Do Google certifications. Do HubSpot certifications. Do all these certifications from the platforms, and then look at what other people are saying on these other learning platforms like Coursera and the like. Also, always also follow people on social media that are in the line that you're most focused in. So if there's someone you look up to that does, for example, social media marketing, if that's your line, follow them, because then you will be learning from the experiences.
Thank you very much for your time. I had a great time, checking out the GeoPoll offices. Definitely coming back. And thank you for your time.
Welcome.
Okay.